Hi guys, welcome back to the CyberVice podcast, and it has been a while because I've been moving house and faffing around, but I'm joined today, of course, by the other half of the podcast, Project Vice.
Hello guys, how you going? It's good to be back once again.
It's weird to be back. Guys, we've got 2 episodes coming out this week, so we've got one today, which is Sunday for everyone. It will be Monday for you, won't it, because you're in Australia, but
yes,
everyone's viewing this on Sunday, and we're also going to have one coming out either Monday or Tuesday, so hold tight, we've got a few episodes in the works. We should probably get the big 2 topics out the way in this first half then, so that's going to be the big news that we've had over the past couple of days about the release window for GTA 6, which is a small game that's coming out next year.
Small indie game.
Yeah, small indie game from a small developer. They've got 4 employees and they're based in a farm on a field. So yeah, I'll let you kick this off and I'll chime in.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, big news. GTA 6 is officially releasing in fall of 2025. Obviously quite massive. We previously, from Take-Two Interactive, they were expecting that it was going to be releasing in early 25, so now it's been internally delayed. But I think sort of the key thing from my takeaway from the earnings call specifically anyways, obviously, is that the big decrease in the net bookings in fiscal 25, which we'll get into in a moment. But in my personal opinion, just from just seeing that it is now fall 2025, I sort of expected it was going to be fall 25 just after ROCKSTAR Games didn't really release any sort of screenshots or anything like that. Just prior to the earnings call, I'm like, it's a bit suspicious that they're not really saying anything prior to the call. So yeah, I think it was sort of expected just after that, just literally before the call. I'm like, I think it might get internally delayed.
I think we're in like the whole thing is weird because there was never an official release window, but obviously based on the information we had from like Jason Schreier and stuff, they're aiming for early 2025. So the fact that ROCKSTAR never officially announced anything kind of means that they didn't officially have to tell us it was coming out in fall either. So it was like 50% of me wanted them to put a post out, maybe trailer 2 or screenshots, and to make an announcement, and the other half of me is like, well, hang on, why should they? Because they never said when. I think it's one of those things where the community is way more advanced in knowing what's going on than maybe it was for GTA 5. ROCKSTAR and Take-Two are bigger businesses now, so there's a lot more insiders. We have a lot of people like Jason Schreier reporting on when they're planning to release games, early 25, late 25, whatever it might be. So I think this kind of hope of us potentially getting some news before the earnings call made sense for everyone. But if you actually look at it from an outsider and go, right, well, ROCKSTAR never actually said when in 2025, so all this is Take-Two just given a bit more clarity. So it's really difficult because there was not, I think it was weird that we all found out through Take-Two rather than ROCKSTAR. That's a first, but yeah, it's just the whole thing's been weird.
Yeah, it is very bizarre, and like even the fact that now, I mean, it still says coming 2025 on ROCKSTAR's website. Like it doesn't even say fall 25, which is so bizarre. Like it is really odd that it's come from Take-Two. That's definitely the first time, especially that I've seen anyways, that it's come from the publisher, not necessarily the developer, in relation to like a more narrowed time frame. I thought it was a bit odd that they said it rather than ROCKSTAR, but it's I think anyways, as long as it's going to come out much more polished and that, and developers need more time, then I'm fine with this. As long as it doesn't get delayed to 2026, which I'm sure we'll discuss within this topic. But I
think it's really weird as well that I've spoke to a few people that know a bit more about stocks and shares than I do, and because this earnings call was the wrap up for fiscal 24 and the predictions for fiscal 25, legally, if there was any shadow of a doubt at all that GTA 6 wouldn't come out in fiscal 25, they can't say it will do. So I think the fall 25 thing, that there could be a chance, a very small, very minute chance, that GTA 6 could come out in early 25 because ROCKSTAR haven't made an announcement. But the only reason that Take-Two would say it's not is because if they don't know, or if they have any doubt, they can't make predictions of $7-8 billion worth of turnover with any doubt in their mind. Because if an email is leaked in 2 years' time where Strauss Zelnick or Laney is emailed by ROCKSTAR saying we're not sure on the timescales, then that's technically, if they've predicted $7-8 billion, that's classed as securities fraud. So I think what they've done is they've said fall 25 to cover all bases. I think there's a good chance the game would be ready for early next year. Maybe pre-orders would be early next year. But if there's any shred of doubt from Take-Two, they can't say that it will be early 25. So I think the late 25 is probably to cover all basis, because they're now not because they don't have to legally say what their predictions are for fiscal 26 yet. So they're basically now putting this issue off until the end of this year.
Yeah, pretty much. Look, I think anyways with just Take-Two in general, like announcing this, obviously as odd as it was, they're pretty much just going to be covering all bases with this anyways. Like you said, if there's any shred of doubt, best to just sort of lower the projections, the net bookings for that fiscal 25 period, which has obviously already started anyways last month, but leading into early next year. So yeah, should we get into like actually the numbers that they stated? So this is what they actually officially said, and this was released in their earnings call, but also their press release as well. They go, as we enter fiscal 25 with positive momentum, we expect to deliver net bookings of 5.55 to 5.65 billion. Our outlook reflects a narrowing of Rockstar Games' previously established window of calendar 25 to now fall of calendar 25, which we've already just went over then. So if you guys, just for providing a bit of context, last earnings call back in February, they Take-Two did state that it was going to be tracking over a little bit above $7 billion in fiscal 25. So now that it is down, but yeah, I think anyways, in relation to that, like you were saying, they have to say this because otherwise it is fraud. You know, they got investors that are invested into the company, so they need to make sure that they state this. Otherwise, yeah, they will be a little bit more about this than me in terms of the explanation, but it's not necessarily a good thing. So they need to make sure that they say this.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. If Rockstar had said to them, we're 90% sure it's going to be ready for February 2025, that's not good enough for a shareholder meeting. Like, the answer is no, it's not ready. It has to be unequivocally 100% yes for it to make it into the predictions, because otherwise they're encouraging people to dump money into a business by lying to them about what the business is going to do. So it's, there is probably a very small chance that, I'd say probably less than 0.5% chance, 1%, that we could see it in early 25. But I think realistically, playing safe, I think it's probably going to be full. We should probably clarify to anyone listening as well. So between now and March next year, that's fiscal 25. Fiscal 26 is March next year to March 2027. So March 2026, sorry. There's 2026 and there's fiscal 26, which are different things, but goes into the next point about timeframes, GTA 5, and maybe potential chances for delay. I'll let you take the lead on this one, but yeah, I think we should get into that, definitely.
Yeah, sure. So this is something that I want to include within this episode for today, and that is, will GTA 6 mirror GTA 5's pre-release time frame? Now, the reason why I thought this was interesting to actually include is because, considering now from what Take-Two have just said that it's going to be releasing in fall of 2025, which the 4 months are from September to November. I think it's important to clarify that as well, especially in obviously America. Yeah, in particular, if you guys do know, or maybe you don't know, GTA 5 released in September of 2013. Considering the case that now the 4 months for GTA 6 is going to be between September to November, that's pretty much the same time frame compared to GTA 5. So where we are currently at the moment, GTA 6, obviously we know that the first trailer came out at the end of last year in December. We haven't seen any other official updates from Rockstar as of yet. But I think the interesting thing is seeing that the screenshots haven't come out yet. Going back to GTA 5's pre-release timeframe, the screenshots actually came out about sort of 8 months after Trailer 1. So Trailer 1 for GTA 5 came out in November 2011, and then the screenshots came out in July of 2012. So seeing that the screenshots haven't come out for GTA 6, is this plausible to suggest that it may be coming now in June, July? I'd say it's pretty likely that it's going to be matching, or maybe not exactly, but very similar to it, considering now we have this new time frame from Take-Two. What's your thoughts?
No, I'm 100% with you there. I think the annoying thing here is, I think it's something that we have to explain as a caveat to all of this. Obviously, when we make predictions and when we talk about these time frames comparing GTA 6 to GTA 5, the reason why we're doing that is because it's all with got. There is nothing.
True.
There is nothing else for us to compare this to. So it could either be a really good case study of this being very similar to GTA 5 Cycle, or we could both be completely wrong, and Rockstar's just going to pull something out their ass. Like, we really don't know what's happening, but I think the best case study is probably going to be GTA 5. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is too different in terms of the way the game was released. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 was a smaller game for Rockstar. Oh, it was massive, obviously, in the grand scheme of games. It was still astronomically huge. But comparatively, I think when we're talking about something on the scale of GTA 5 is going to be our closest example.
Yeah, no, exactly right. But look, the thing is, just so guys, everyone knows, like, this is obviously just all speculation. Myself and Cyber, we don't work at Rockstar. We don't have any, sources at Rockstar. I mean, I wish we did, but we don't.
Yeah.
But
I've got one guy I know works at Rockstar, and I keep messaging him, just saying, "Hey man, could you clarify this?" And he just replies with emojis. He just
Oh no, you actually did. You did interview one guy, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You do.
So he would answer any question I wanted, unless it was about GTA 6.
Wait, so Han, how did you get the interview actually for him?
Right, so I used to do some work with a games developer in the UK, and I was doing their social media adverts, so their Facebook and Instagram ads. I wasn't working for them. I was a freelancer. I was contracted to them, but I was paid by the games developer. That games developer, which is a mobile games developer, one of the employees who was my contact that sent me the screen recording, the development footage to put into the ads, he went to Rockstar about a year after I stopped working in that business. And then occasionally, it's like one of those LinkedIn friends where you talk to like once every year to say happy birthday. But when I started the channel, I reached out to him and I just said to him, full transparency, I have a YouTube channel doing this. Can you talk about anything? He was like, no. But when everyone obviously had the return to work mandate, I messaged him asking if he was happy to talk about that, and he confirmed he was. So that's the only thing I've managed to get out of him. There was an interview on that. And to all of Rockstar's employees' credit, like Rockstar, you've got some very good employees because they will not tell anyone.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would not want to know what the repercussions of, breaking that NDA is. I do not want to know. I do not want to know.
They're just in court and they're like, they took all my clothes on my firstborn child.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Oh, that would be absolutely. Oh my god.
Thing is, I've had people message me on Instagram and Twitter claiming to work for Rockstar, and they've said stuff, but I can't run the risk of posting it without verifying that they work for Rockstar. With this person that I interviewed, I know they work for Rockstar because I've been in contact with them for years, and I know they went to Rockstar, and it's publicly available that they are at Rockstar, like on their LinkedIn and stuff. But with the randomers that message me, like, some of the information that people have told me, I wish I could vouch for it, but I feel like if I put that information out there and it wasn't correct, I'd look like a dickhead. So I already have to be careful about how many things I'm wrong about on the channel. So
yeah, no, I completely get where you're coming from. That makes sense.
And people will make up anything to have a video about them. So
it's so true.
Right, guys. So during the earnings call, Take-Two Interactive mentioned that over the next 12 months, the revenue for GTA Online, or they classed it as a blended monetization because they're fancy, but the apparent revenue that they're going to be generating from GTA Online is going to be decreasing. Now, what this means, I'm assuming that means less DLC, less content, less reasons to buy shark cards and other digital currencies. But in terms of what this means for the longevity of GTA Online, I really don't know. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I just mean anyways, like, I think, I think considering the fact that GTA 6 is nearing its launch, it's pretty expected that GTA Online, in terms of the content, is just going to be slowed down. The rate of which content comes out, just updates in general. Like, I don't necessarily think we're going to be seeing any massive, huge updates from Rockstar in regards to GTA Online. I mean, the last big update, I'm just thinking off the top of my head anyways, is what was after? There was the Cayo Perico. I'm not sure if there was anything after that. I haven't been following GTA Online as much.
Cayo Perico, then we had the Chop Shop. Was that? Yeah. Then we had the Clock and Barrel Farm Raid.
Yeah, like the Clockable Farm Raid, the Chop Shop DLC, like they're just contact missions. They're not like, it's not like a massive update or anything. It's not like compared to the heist, the Diamond Casino heist or the Cayo Perico, like they're not full-fledged big updates. So yeah, considering the launch of GTA 6 is pretty much around the corner anyways, even though it's still a year and a bit out, it's expected that GTA Online content is slowing down. It's not surprising at all, seeing that pretty much all eyes are peeled on GTA 6 at the moment. So yeah, that's my takeaway from it.
Yeah, and I'm with you on. I think a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about GTA Online, and honestly, I don't know the answers because it just does not tickle my fancy at all. I'm not interested because, you know, I understand that I'm probably not the demographic for GTA Online. Like there is a demographic which is the people that will spend on shark cards, and they'll want to build that portfolio of money in the game so they can buy the cars and the vehicles and all of that. I understand that, but like every single online update for GTA has literally been a reskinned version of the same thing. It's prepare for a mission, make loads of money, spend all that money preparing for the job, do the big raid job, whatever it might be, get a massive payout, spend it on one vehicle, start again. Like it's the same rinse and repeat. And you know, like, I understand some people may enjoy it, and I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not for me. So in terms of like them slowing down with GTA Online, I'm assuming we'll probably get maybe one update this summer, or maybe not this summer. Maybe we'll get one at Christmas, like a final Christmas update before GTA 6 comes out. Maybe they'll do something special, but we thought they'd do something special for the 10-year anniversary of the game, and they didn't.
It's like, yeah, like a 50, it was like hardly anything. It was like, 10-15 second clip of just some like free random GTA Online characters just standing like on the street or something.
Yeah, I would have thought that maybe, like, what I would have loved to have seen is maybe some like behind the scenes like of making GTA 5, like maybe like a little 5-minute video. That would have been a proper celebration. But I think maybe, I've always wondered, this is going off at a tangent, but I've always wondered why Rockstar never show us any behind the scenes. I know they're a secret company, but if they did like a full movie and distributed it themselves and even charged us to bloody watch it, but I would love to know like what it's like developing a Grand Theft Auto game, because there's no other game that comes close to the effort that goes into making it. Like
it would be so awesome to see, like, even if it's like on Netflix, it doesn't have to be Netflix, but like even if it's just like any, like if it's on some type of streaming service or something, if it's like a documentary style, like episodic content or something, that'd be absolutely awesome. Just seeing, like you said, how it's made, like I'd love to see that. That would be really well. There wasn't I don't know if me and you went over this, but I heard that I'm pretty sure you maybe heard as well that Stephen Ogg, Trevor, who obviously plays Trevor, Michael, Ned Luke, who plays Michael, Sean Fontana plays Franklin. They were on an interview, I think, a few weeks ago with some company. I don't know who it was. It was on YouTube, and they were essentially saying that Rockstar did actually film some behind-the-scenes content in terms of the making of GTA 5, but it was never released. So there's probably some footage. Obviously, there is, considering from what they've said.
Well,
but
there's one set of footage on YouTube which I think is like a 7-minute long video, which is about the motion capture, but it's like not with the main actors, it's with like people doing motion capture for like side characters and stuff, and it's like so vague, like you can't learn a single thing about GTA about it. It's more industry specific, but they referenced, well, it's filmed but for Rockstar games, but it's so old now. I think that came out like 2011, 2010. But it's not, there is nothing about GTA in there, and there's no value. I would love to learn more about the behind the scenes process. Like, even if it meant that I couldn't share any information about it, if someone at Rockstar wants to email either of us and just tell us how the process works, we'll happily sign an NDA, but we just both want to know.
It'd be so cool to know, man. It'd be so coul to know.
Because I was talking,
The Last of Us did it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they did. I was talking to Fishy about this the other day, and we were saying that, like, we were talking about how the process for making GTA 6 would work, and you've got to realise that, like, the micromanagement must be intense, because there's going to be 2 or 3 people at the top of the company making a lot of the creative decisions around the whole game. Then they're trusting the people under them to manage a department of managers, and they're trusting people under them to manage a department of other managers, and those managers are then managing their own teams of developers, asset designers, all of this stuff. Like, there's such a long chain of command in Rockstar, and obviously on paper that's always actually a bad idea, but they've never, well, with a grain of salt, they've never delivered a really bad product. So whatever they've done must be working. But that also being said, like, they're a bigger company now compared to what they were back in 2010 when they started development on GTA 5, or maybe even earlier, 2009. So like GTA 5 could be their big hit, whereas GTA 6, they could have just got too big and too corporate, and maybe they might have slipped up in some aspects. We don't know until we get the game.
Yeah, obviously we don't know, but we're basing everything off their past track record.
Yeah,
you know, everything they've done with, even after GTA 5 with RDR 2, just goes to show you that they still got it. So
yeah.
I guess we'll see once GTA 6 comes out, but I'm sure they'll hit a home run with it. I mean, it'll still be a success anyways, even if it's like an average game, even if GTA 6 is just an average game, it's still going to succeed in terms of just like sales. Yeah.
This brings on to another topic which wasn't actually on our list, but I get a lot of comments from people. I think a lot of people have the pessimist in them, where they think that, because a lot of the lead designers and lead people at Rockstar have left, they think the game will be awful. But for example, with Red Dead Redemption 2, Rupert Humphreys, who was one of the key people for the story design for Red Dead Redemption 2, he's still there. And obviously some people say the Red Dead Redemption 2 story is too long, whatever it might be, but the actual story itself was a fantastic story. So if Rupert Humphreys is in any way, shape or form involved with the writing of GTA 6, which he will be, I cannot see it being a bad story. I just can't see it being a bad story. So a lot of people are worried, but they don't need to be.
No, I don't think anyone should really be worried, to be perfectly honest. And also, anyways, like the storyboarding, the brainstorming, the writing, anyways, was done like a while. I'm not someone that's in game development. I'm not necessarily sure the specifics behind it, but I have a bit of a rough idea of how it works. I mean, the story was written a while back, I'm pretty certain, from what I can understand.
Well, the first mentions of it were in 2014.
Yeah, that's like
Dan
ages ago.
Yeah, a year after GTA 5 came out. So clearly the seed was planted a long time ago.
And that was a year before Leslie Benzies, the whole fallout happened between Leslie Benzies and Rockstar Games.
When he got voluntarily fired.
Yeah, he couldn't. Funny fact about that, if you guys don't know, he actually was locked outside of I'm pretty sure it was Rockstar North Studios. I read up on this a while back. He actually got locked out of the studios.
Him and his son. It was him and his
wild.
son and one of his son's friends. So Leslie Benzies' son worked for Rockstar as well, and his son's friend worked for Rockstar. I'm gonna have to assume that he did something bad, because he basically was owed royalties from GTA 5. He went on a hiatus from 2014, and then in 2016 he went on a 2-year hiatus. In 2016, when he returned to the office, he wasn't able to get into the office, and he was basically locked out, signed out of all his emails, and then it went to court, and it was settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. He probably got paid hundreds of millions because he was a shareholder of the business. He had not a shareholder, sorry, he had royalties in the game. So but he took him to court over unpaid royalties, and it was settled out of court. So, but the fact is, a lot of people have said about Leslie Benzies not being involved and how awful it is. If he was perfect, he wouldn't have been ousted from Rockstar. So he probably did something. What that something is, we don't know. Whether it was embezzling money or whatever, we're not going to speculate. But they wouldn't have just got rid of him because they wanted to. There's probably a reason that none of us know.
Yeah, 100%. When people say, just going back to what we're talking about in terms of GTA 6's story, or the writing, and if it will be from a narrative standpoint, not necessarily a great game in terms of storytelling or whatever. Like, I think the things we need to keep in mind is there's a lot of veterans that are still there at Rockstar that have been pretty much pioneers of the storytelling of Rockstar games over many years. So I think we shouldn't really be worried at all, to be honest.
No, exactly. And also as well, like from what I can see on LinkedIn, and if you do find some developers on LinkedIn, some developers have been at Rockstar for 20 plus years, and fundamentally the key decision makers at the top of the business, they're not in control of the creative direction of the game. They're in control of the themes and topics that are explored in the game, and everything gets put through them. But it's the developers that actually come up with ideas, and they put it forwards to their bosses, and they go to their bosses, and it goes up the chain of command, and it gets approved or disapproved. So the game is not in the hands of the person that owns Rockstar Games. It's not in the hands of Sam Houser. He will be the final say, but it's not down to 3 people that left the business to make or break a game. There's a lot more to it than than that. You know, they employ 6,000 people, and probably 1,000 of those are developers. So.
Well, there's different departments as well, so it's not just one man. It's crazy how huge Rockstar are, man. It's wild.
Yeah, no one person at Rockstar can say they made GTA 6, because it's like it's the biggest collective project ever. I mean, more people are involved in that than there are of any TV series.
Yeah, there's so many like Rockstar studios over the world and that you know that are all on board working on GTA 6. Like, can you imagine how difficult that would be working on one project, like, and there's all these people from all different studios over the world working together to get this game out of the door.
This is what I was thinking about the other day. So I've recently done some editing for another YouTuber, and I'm working with one of their editors, and just collaborating on a video edit, like, from the other side of the world, and sharing those files and like screen sharing to discuss different animations and stuff is so complex. Imagine what it's like actually having to make a game doing that. Like, I don't know, whatever system they're using, whatever proprietary system they're using to develop a game together must be insanely powerful. So guys, thank you so much for watching part 1 to this episode. Part 2 will be coming out in the next day or two, so stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.
Thank you guys, catch you later.